Hello, sweet souls. How are you? How are you feeling? That's the big question. How are you feeling? How is your heart? How are the sensations and the emotions in and around the heart? I'm going to talk about that because I have a big message that I've wanted to share for a few weeks, and now feels like the right time. Pardon my voice. I'm still getting over a something, a cold of some kind, but I'm glad to be with you today. The message that's coming through is very, very firm and very strong. And this is a message that my soul has communicated to me over many years. But I heard this was the time to share it with you, to share it in a free form transmission so that you understood that what you were feeling is not wrong. Your emotions are your compass, period. And I'm going to share a full transmission on that. But first, I want to say hi, hello, how are you? I'm Maggie. I am a ritualist and a soul teacher and a storyteller. And I try to show up here every week or a couple of times a week with videos to teach you how to hear your soul, how to get into the energy of its love, and how to allow that to amplify love, not just within you, but to call in all the love you're seeking in the world, to call in what you're seeking outside of you. And I do this through videos, I do this through social media, and I have courses and workshops, and you can work with me one-on-one. Everything's over at maggiebatista.com. But I want to begin this message. I think it's a little layered, so go with me. Your emotions are your compass. They are the key to aligning you to what is meant for you and to navigating, I'm seeing a snake, to navigating this life, this world, and also the expansion of the life force and the love force that moves through you, that moves up your chakra system, that moves out of you. Okay? And you're like, what? My feelings, everyone tells me that, like, my feelings are my feelings, and if I'm feeling them, I shouldn't share them. That is not exactly what I'm saying. What I'm saying is your emotions are your compass. They're not everyone else's compass. They're your compass. You are here in this human body. Your soul came into this human body to feel emotions. And if we want to get philosophical, there's lots of other things that your soul came into this human body to do. But I want to speak very specifically about feeling. You are here to feel. You are here to come into your fullest expression by feeling, by allowing the emotions within you to surface. And by bringing less judgment or no judgment to those emotions, to simply letting them flow through you like a river or a stream, okay? Your emotions, when they rise, they are there to signal something to you. They are there to send you a message. And you get to decide what that message is. You get to make the meaning, right? But you can't make the meaning until you feel it all. So if you feel grief, if you feel loss, if you feel sadness, if you feel anger, the invitation on the altar between us is for you to allow those feelings, to let them emerge, to let them take up space. Gone are the times where we sequestered our feelings, where we kept them hidden, because they don't disappear. They go somewhere. They get trapped in your body. They get trapped in the fascial of the body. They get trapped in specific spots in your body, and they can manifest like or as continued pain, increased pain, dis-ease, discomfort, right? I remember almost 10 years ago, I had some pain rise in my mid back. And I went to see all the doctors. I went to see all the psychologists, and all of them said, there's nothing wrong with you. I knew there was something wrong with me. But once I started pursuing some holistic means by which to understand the pain, I realized it was surfacing as grief. It was grief that was surfacing, right? Grief for something I was moving through at that moment in my life that actually touched back onto old grief and old pain and old loss from when I was younger. Now, it may have touched back even further to other lifetimes, but I'm able to speak to you about what I know and what I understand, right? And so when you sequester your emotions, when you keep them down, they do not go away. They build up, they intensify, they form blockages all through the body, and specifically through the chakra system, through the sort of energetic spaces in the body that help to guide our emergence and our expansion. And that may manifest as a lack of aliveness, a feeling of dormancy, an inability to move forward, a feeling of stuckness, right? A feeling of not knowing what to do or where to go or what to say. And so my invitation to you is to feel it in the moment. And once you allow that feeling to move through your body, once you are able to ground after you feel that feeling, then you can take some action. You can follow the signals, the pointers that that emotion leaves for you. And in that way, it is a compass. It is guiding you. So the invitation, remember, you don't have to do this. You can just scroll through this video and forget it, right? You can go on to the next video. But what I'm doing right now is inviting you to sit with the emotions that are within you. If you feel safe, if you feel held, right? And I have learned to talk to my soul, to engage with my soul, because my soul can hold me as I feel emotions. My soul can hold me and soothe me through those emotions. That is a skill and a muscle that my soul and I have worked on, right? That all the parts of me have worked on. Certainly, if you're feeling something that's really rough, go to someone outside of you to help you, whoever that may be. A friend, a family member, a therapist. There are lots of people that you can ask or employ to help you feel your emotions. And yet, and even as I had that support over the last 10 years, the only tending voice that I believed wholeheartedly with all of me was my own soul. My soul invites me to feel things. It invites me to feel the emotions. That's the invitation, because once I can integrate that or disintegrate it, right, then I can say, all right, I felt it. And knowing what I know now, what is my next step? The other thing that happens when you feel those emotions is you increase your capacity to feel more emotions, right? To feel the emotions that are sparked by living this life, by walking this existence. You are not designed to have a little life, to have little feelings, to have little emotions, to play small. I'm just going to say that honestly. You are not. And I don't even know you. And I know that you're not designed for that. You're designed to feel the full spectrum of emotions, however big they may get. You're designed to follow your soul's deepest desires. If it's a desire within you, it was implanted in there by your soul, right? Your soul came here wishing to do those things. And so if that is the case, we need to choose to increase our capacity to experience more of this life. And that means training ourselves to feel emotions, training ourselves to allow those emotions to wash over us. And that may mean sitting in a ton of grief. You may be over there sitting in grief right now. You may be over there feeling incredible loss. I know what that feels like. I remember the moment. I remember when my parents died a year apart. I remember when my work, what I thought would be my work, started to crumble around me. What I thought I would do for a long time started to disappear. I remember when I was ending my 20-year relationship. Quite surprisingly, right? Unexpectedly. I remember when I lost my home and we let it go and I had to move somewhere else and create a new home. And I remember when the soul said, right here, sister, go right within. I'm here to hold you. I'm here to help you allow all of this, right? I did have some outside help as well because it's great. It's wonderful to have people outside of you that you can talk these things through with. And yet, I have the greatest processing and integration of my emotions with my own soul, in silence, in stillness. I don't process my emotions with 20 people, not at all. There's no need for me to take my pain and put it on everyone, right? Project my pain onto everyone. And that could be what you're doing. I don't know. I'm not you. I'm not there. I just know that for a period of my life, that's what I was doing until my soul called me home and said, you got stuff. You got a lot of stuff. You got stuff that's triggered now. You got stuff that's triggering things that happened in your childhood. You got stuff that's triggering stuff in your lineage, in your ancestral line. So let's feel it. Let's be with it. Let's create a ritual around feeling it, around being in stillness with it. And for me, that became a daily practice with talking to my soul and asking my soul what these feelings were about. Why was I feeling them? And once I was able to come to some place of understanding and acceptance, that's when I was able to take action, take the next steps to my greater expansion, to feel more of my emergence, to feel more of this life, to create the capacity in me to change my life, right? And so that's what I wanted to leave on the altar between us today. Your emotions are your compass, no doubt. And the path is feeling those emotions, allowing your soul to hold those emotions, speaking to your soul. So you understand that the path is to feel them and allow them. And then you get to do all those things you came here to do, whatever that is. You know, we didn't come here to necessarily live a life that is entirely comfortable. Some people are here to model that behavior, right? And that makes them happy, and that is beautiful. And some people are here, some souls came here for something different. And if you're watching this, you could be one of those souls. I know I am one of those souls. I have a very different mission, a different purpose, a different desire to live in full receptivity and full aliveness of everything that comes across my path. And that means I have to feel things. I have to allow them, right? So that's what I came here to tell you today. And in particular, the feeling of your emotions is going to be really vital in the resonance of not just this week, but for the next few weeks. Because there's lots of wild things happening and they're not stopping. Spring of 2025 is like a wild time, astrologically, economically, politically, societally, what's happening in culture, right? All of it. So it is upon you to feel your way through this. Now, I don't mean that if you get angry, you're meant to act on that anger. Not at all. What I mean is, if you get angry, I want you to feel the anger. I want you to take like 10 deep breaths with that anger. And I want you and your soul to have a conversation about what that anger is about and why it's there. Typically, anger comes to the surface when there is a more tender emotion underneath it. So I'm going to ask you, someone I admire greatly used to tell me that anger was the porcupine quills, right? The reaction. But really, the porcupine wants to turn over on its back and expose its soft belly, expose its vulnerability. So my invitation is to explore what that anger is about, to go underneath it and explore your vulnerable parts. Allow yourself to understand it. Because once you understand that anger and where it's coming from, that's real action. That's real activism. I'm not talking about reactionary activism because someone outside of you told you you had to do something, or because you're scared and fearful, right? I'm talking about real activism that comes from understanding who you are, understanding where your anger came from, and understanding what you want to do about it, right? How you want to change this world that you're in, how you want to allow yourself to feel at home in your body and the world by designing it, by making it, by doing your part to make the world that you want to live in. So I had to come in to share that with you today. Your emotions, your feelings, they are your compass. And if it feels hard to feel those feelings, my invitation is to limit your time with them until you can spend more and more time with them. That's my first invitation to you. My other invitation to you is, if you're not sure how, come to one of my workshops or events. I do monthly Zoom rituals, a series of 3 rituals where we sit with the feelings and we move them, we allow them, and we talk to the soul, and we decide our next steps. Come to one of those, right? They're linked in my bio. The April one is linked in the description of this video. So come. Or come to one of my ceremonies or circles in person. I have one next week in Austin, Texas. So I invite you. You know, in a lot of my work, the more I've found compassion for myself, the more I'm able to offer that compassion to others. And so come into space with me. That's the invitation. I welcome you. You are safe in space with me. You are held in space with me. And also, you are held in safe space with your soul, right? So that is my offering to you today. I hope that it resonates with those who feel it. And if you have questions about your feelings being your compass, leave them down below, and maybe I'll make a follow-up video on them. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for dealing with my slightly off-kilter voice as I continue to heal. And I promise I'll be back again very, very soon.